respiratory system of the first amphibian respiration అనగానే మీకు ఏం గుర్తుకు రావాలి ఒక బేసిక్ పాయింట్ అంటే the frog are amphibian, so it it have it has it lives in two different areas in its life history. One is aquatic environment, another one is terrestrial environment. Even in the adult stage, the terrestrial environment is not completely terrestrial. So, according to its surroundings, its respiratory system is developed. So, what we should remember, frog అనేది not complete terrestrial animal. It is a semi-terrestrial animal. That's why it is amphibian. And here, uh, most of the adult stage, it spends its life on terrain. So according to terrestrial habitat, it acquired terrestrial kind of respiratory system, that is lungs. At the same time, it is not 100% terrestrial respiratory organism. So it lives in the moisture areas or where the temperatures are very less. So according to that, the skin also participates in respiration. In addition to these, another one is buccopharyngeal cavity. So that also just 0.9% buccopharyngeal respiration also seen. This is basic. నాకు amphibian అంటే ఈ త్రీ టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ రెస్పిరేషన్ ఉంటుంది అనే విషయం మినిమం కామన్ సెన్స్. Okay, so we should have that common sense. Whereas the fish, which is a complete aquatic animal, so it has no other choice but gills, which are the very efficient structures that can, uh, receive oxygen from the which is dissolved in the water, and also sends the CO2 which is dissolved in their blood. Okay, released from the tissues. Okay. Anyway, if you see the points of some important features of respiratory system of fish, so here it is bronchial respiration. Okay, here it is, three kinds of respiration can be seen. Pulmonary respiration by pair of lungs, cutaneous respiration by skin, buccopharyngeal respiration by buccopharynx. Okay, so that is the difference. Here only bronchial respiration, gill respiration. So it includes five pairs of gills, which are lamelliform type of gills. Okay, they are major organs. Here, pulmonary are a pair of lungs, skin, and buccopharynx. These are the, you know, the respiratory organs. And here only internal nares are present. Internal nares and laryngeal tracheal chambers. These are absent. Okay. So as there are no lungs, or there is no need of lungs. So there is no need of internal nostrils that connects the external nostrils to the pharynx and to the respiratory system. కాబట్టి ఇంటర్నల్ నేర్స్ ఉండవు, లారింజోట్రాకిల్ ఛాంబర్ కూడా ఉండదు. వాటర్ ఎంటర్స్ త్రూ మౌత్ అండ్ లీవ్స్ వయా గిల్స్. వాటర్ అనేది మౌత్ ద్వారా ఎంటర్ అవుతుంది. గిల్స్ అవి literally they drink water, and they leave that water through gill slits, lateral side gill slits. Okay, nostrils are olfactory, not involved in respiration. External nostrils ఏ ఉంటాయి, అవి just they are used for the olfactory function, ఏదైనా స్మెల్ టేస్ట్ చేయడం. And here gills are present in larval form only ఇందులో amphibiaలో, ఎందుకంటే that is aquatic animal. And glottis and epiglottis are present, so ikkada absent. Laryngotracheal chamber is present, ikkada absent. Okay, Syrinx is present in the birds, not here. So here and here syrinx also. Larva contains five pairs of gill pouches. Okay, four gills, clefts. Okay, and three pairs of external filamentous uh, gills or gill filaments are present. And external gill filaments మూడు ఉంటాయి, ఇంటర్నల్ గిల్స్ నాలుగు ఫోర్ పేర్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఓకే, గిల్ పౌచెస్ ఓవరాల్గా ఫైవ్ ఉన్నప్పటికీ సో ఫోర్ ఇంటర్నల్ గిల్సే ఉంటాయి. ఓకే, అండ్ త్రీ పేర్స్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్టర్నల్ గిల్స్ దాని లార్వాలో ఉంటాయి. ఓకే, సో ఎనీవే హియర్ glottis epiglottis absent, syrinx absent. Lungs are also absent because it is aquatic animal and it has uh, gills. So lungs are here present in the amphibia, two pairs without any lobes. They are completely covered with peritoneum. Here, as there are no lungs, there is no alveoli. Here, alveoli are present. They are the actual places of gases exchange. మొన్న లంగ్స్ చెప్పినప్పుడు చెప్పాను, ద ప్లేసెస్ బిట్వీన్ ది టూ సక్సెసివ్, the gap between the two secondary trabeculae is known as alveoli, which is highly vascularized, and that is the place actually the gases exchange takes place. Here in fishes, air sacs are absent. Here also absent. Air sacs are present only in bony fishes and also bird. Okay. So anyway, yeah, here buccopharyngeal respiration absent, cutaneous respiration absent. In which fishes? Okay, right. So that is structural. You know, here buccopharyngeal respiration occurs. Cutation, cutaceous or cutaneous respiration. Uh, is the vascular skin acts as a respiratory surface. About 30 to 35% of total respiration, cutaneous respiration contributes. Okay, respiration occurs by okay, right. And the breathing movements here. For inspiration, hypobronchial muscles are contracted, and the constrictor muscles and the interbronchial muscles for expiration. Okay, whereas in frog, sternohyal muscles for inspiration, pecto petrohyal muscles for expiration. So that is the differences. Very simple. Yeah, here these are very highly vascularized. Okay, they are very efficient organs in aqua environment. Water లోపల చాలా efficient గా పనిచేసేటువంటి gills అనేవి ఉంటాయి. So here the lungs, the skin, so both are present, but they are not as efficient as the gills in the terrestrial environment also. Okay, because lungs they are not highly uh, evolved like mammalia and avia. Okay, so anyway, yeah, they are less developed when compared with the gills. So our next topic is frog heart. I'll explain the diagram. కింద మీకు notes లో థియరీ ఉంటుంది. ఇందులో పెద్దగా మనకు ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఏదైనా ఉంటే నేను స్ట్రెచ్ చేస్తాను, అని గుర్తుంచుకోవాలి. రైట్, హియర్ this is the heart of the frog. Okay, so one is dorsal view, another way is ventral view. If you observe the frog heart, it has one, two, three chambers are present. The heart. Okay, so heart is present in the anterior midline cavity protected by sternum. Okay, and it is dorso-ventrally flattened in the frog. Frog లో హార్ట్ అనేది dorso-ventrally flat. Okay. And then two auricles are separate, externally separated by interauricular septum or groove or septum groove, and the two auricles are separated with a you know ventricle, right? So by structure called coronary sulcus. This is a groove externally that separates the uh, auricles and a ventricle. Okay, they are separated by coronary sulcus. Okay, and if you observe the dorsal part of the you know, uh, heart, okay, so there is a sac-like structure called sinus venosus. Actually, this sinus venosus, okay, here it is formed of three major veins. Okay, here there is no ductus cuvarius. Instead, one pair of precaval veins are anterior vena cavae. Okay, vena cava. Okay, so two pair, one right precaval vein, another one is left precaval vein, and this is postcaval vein. They are fused to form a cyclic structure called sinus venosus. Sinus venosus enters into you know right uh, auricle by a sino-auricular aperture. The sino-auricular aperture is guarded by a semilunar valve. Okay, so it prevents backflow of blood after entering into the auricle. And if you observe the ventral side, okay, so from the right side of the ventricle, okay, from the right side of the ventricle, so a cone-shaped structure is arised that is called conus arteriosus. Sorry, truncus arteriosus, not conus. Sorry, a trunk-like structure. A trunk-like structure is formed from the right side area of the the ventricle, that is called truncus arteriosus. This truncus arteriosus, after crossing the heart, it is bifurcated into two aortic arcs or trunks. Okay, so one is this is left aortic arc, right aortic arc. Okay, so each systemic arc and కూడా అనొచ్చు. So two systemic arcs are formed. So the right systemic arc, the left systemic arc, right? So anyway, let's see about it in the venous system. If you observe the internal structure of the heart, okay, so this is right auricle and this is left auricle. Okay, so generally the blood enters into right auricle, uh, which is connected by the two precaval veins, one postcaval vein. Okay, so and this is common. So, so దీని వెనకాల ఉంటుంది sino-auricular aperture, which is guarded by a special thin wall, right? So this is the right precaval vein, this is left precaval vein, this is postcaval vein. ఈ మూడు కలిసి హార్ట్ యొక్క రైట్ ఏరియాలో తెచ్చు, right? And two auricles are separated by interauricular septum. Okay, and the diagram actually is right picture. Okay, fine. So here the right this is sino-auricular aperture, and this left precaval, right precaval, and this postcaval vein. So they are united to form that side the sinus venosus that enters into this right auricle, okay, by sinoauricular aperture, which is guarded by valves. Okay, and yeah, so here, okay, diagram correct ఇచ్చాము. ఇది రైట్ ఆర్కిల్ ఏనమ్మా. సో ఇది అడ్డం ఉంది కాబట్టి సెపరేట్ అనమాట. సో ఇక్కడ రైట్ ఆర్కిల్ ఇస్ వెరీ వెరీ బిగ్గర్ దెన్ ది లెఫ్ట్ ఆర్కిల్. రైట్ ఆర్కిల్ అనేది ఇక్కడ నుంచి పడితే ఇంత దూరం ఉంది. ఓకే, లెఫ్ట్ ఆర్కిల్ ఇంతే ఉంది. రైట్. సో దిస్ ఇస్ లెఫ్ట్ ఆర్కిల్ ఇంటూ విచ్ కామన్ ఓపెనింగ్ ఆఫ్ పల్మనరీ వెయిన్స్. ఓకే, అంటే లంగ్స్ నుంచి ఒక పెయిర్ ఆఫ్ blood vessels, they collect the blood from the lungs, and they pour into this you know, left auricle, okay, which is impure blood or deoxygenated blood. And one pair of these auricles are opened into ventricle by one pair of auriculoventricular, sorry, they are separated by auriculoventricular septum, and in the middle of that septum, a small aperture is present, which is guarded by three semilunar valves. Okay, so here the ventricle wall is very very thick. It contains many foldings called trabeculae or columnae carneae. Okay, so you could check trabeculae. And here auriculoventricular aperture is present here in this area. So it is it has its opening or aperture called auriculoventricular aperture that is guarded by sorry, that is guarded by two pairs of thin valves here in this area. అంటే ఆరికిల్స్ రెండు కలిసి ఒకటే రంధ్రం ద్వారా వెంట్రికల్లోకి రిలీజ్ అవుతాయి. ఓకే, సో హియర్ auriculoventricular aperture is guarded by two pairs of thin wall thin walls. Okay, and then so by to those to that aperture. Okay, so many you know elastic connective tissue fibers, uh, they are called cardiac tendon. So they are produced, they are attached to these muscular wall of the ventricle. Okay, the cardiac tendon, it prevents over excitation of heart or slow rate of heart. Anyway, so this is the structure of heart. And in the heart, there is an important structure called so truncus arteriosus. Okay, so this area is called truncus arteriosus. ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఇక్కడ ఏదైతే చూస్తున్నారో, okay, and this one is truncus arteriosus. So this area is truncus arteriosus, and there are some tissues. Uh, the opening of the truncus arteriosus contains three semi valves. Okay, and here there are two chambers are there in the truncus arteriosus. So this uh, you know, area of ఇక్కడ ఏముంటాయంటే సెకండ్ పేర్ ఆఫ్ సెమీ సర్క్యులర్ సెమీ లూనర్ వాల్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఇక్కడ ఫస్ట్ పేర్ ఆఫ్ సెమీ లూనర్ వాల్స్ ఆర్ ప్రెసెంట్. దిస్ semilunar valves, second row of semilunar valves, that they divide this cavity of the truncus arteriosus into two halves. Okay, so this one above the second pair of the semilunar valves. Okay, so that is generally considered as a phalangium or bulbous arteriosus అని కూడా పిలుస్తారు. దాన్ని bulbous arteriosus, right? And this total area is known as so synovium. Okay, so this synovium is again divided into two halves. Okay, so by spiral wall. So this one is truncus arteriosus. Sorry. So this is cavum pulmonatum. So cavum arteriosus. So ఇక్కడ చూడండి. సో ఇక్కడ at the base of the truncus arterius త్రీ సెమీలునార్ వాల్వ్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఇక్కడ ఒక త్రీ సెమీలునార్. సో దీనివల్ల ఈ క్యావిటీ ఇస్ డివైడెడ్ ఇంటూ టూ హాఫ్స్. ఓకే, సో సెకండ్ హాఫ్లో ఉండే క్యావిటీని మనం వెంట్రల్ ఛాంబర్ ఆఫ్ సైనాంజియం లేదా సింపుల్గా సైనాంజియం అని పిలుస్తాం. ఓకే, సో ఈ త్రీ సెమీలునార్ వాల్వ్స్ ఉన్న ఏరియా జనరల్ సెప్టమ్ ప్రిన్సిపేల్ అని పిలుస్తాం. ఆర్ ఇక్కడ త్రీ సెమీలునార్ వాల్వ్స్ అని. సో దిస్ వన్ పైలాజియం, ఈ కింది వైపు ఉన్న క్యావిటీ అంతా కలిస్తే పైలాజియం. పైలాజియం హ్యాస్ టూ cavities. So this is cavam aorticum, cavam pulmonatum. దీన్ని ఏమని పిలుస్తామంటే cavam aorticum, cavam pulmonatum. Right? So, and what is this structure? There is a spiral structure that stretched between the two successive, semi lunar valves. Okay, so that is called spiral valve that separates this phalangium into two equal halves. One is uh, cavam aorticum, another one is cavam pulmonatum. Okay, so that is about the heart structure. Sinus ఇవన్నీ అయిపోయినాయి. సో ఎనీవే వర్కింగ్ మెకానిజం ఉంటుంది. There are two theories to explain the mechanism of heart function of frog. ఫ్రాగ్లో బ్లడ్ సర్క్యులేషన్ ఎలా జరుగుతుందని ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయడానికి రెండు థియరీస్ ఉన్నాయి. వన్ ఈస్ క్లాసికల్ థియరీ అండ్ అదర్ వన్ ఈస్ మోడరన్ థియరీ. Classical theory was proposed by Brooks. It was supported by Sabatier. Okay. Right. So, according to classical theory, it is incomplete double circulation that occurs in the lung. సో ఎట్లా ఒకసారి చెప్తాను. సో వీళ్ళ ప్రకారం ఏంటి అంటే క్లాసికల్, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, సో త్రీ pre-caval veins, they collect, impure blood from the body parts, okay, and they pour it into right auricle. Okay, so from the right auricle, the blood enters into the ventricle, which is single without any chambers. Okay, so and it also contains many, these striations called columnae carneae. Okay, so these columnae carneae, so according to groups, that separates the, and here you can see both the pulmonary veins, they are opened into left auricle by a common opening of pulmonary veins. ఒక జత one pair of pulmonary veins left chamber లో. Okay, and impure blood is into uh, the right auricle లోకి, సో త్రూ బై ఏమంటారు కరోనరీ సైనస్ ద్వారా ఎంటర్ అయింది. రైట్. సో వీళ్ళు ఏమంటారు అంటే ఇక్కడ రెండు ఆరికిల్స్ కంట్రాక్ట్ అయినప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఆరికిల్ వెంట్రికులర్ అపర్చర్ అనేది ఓపెన్ అయ్యి, సో బ్లడ్ అనేది రీచెస్ టు దిస్ ventricle. So due to the presence of these trabeculae, so the purified blood from the lungs, it reaches towards the left side, and this one, so to the రైట్ సైడ్. ఓకే, సో వాళ్ళు ఏమని చెప్తారంటే ఇటు నుంచి వచ్చేదంతా మంచి రక్తం, ఇటు నుంచి వచ్చేదంతా ఇంప్యూర్ బ్లడ్ లేదా డిఆక్సినేటెడ్ బ్లడ్. కాబట్టి ఈ దీస్ ట్రాబిక్యులే ది సెపరేట్ టు సమ్ ఎక్స్టెంట్ ద ఇంప్యూర్ అండ్ ప్యూరిఫైడ్. The middle of the ventricle, the blood will become little, uh, mixed type. But this side and this side, it is not. But it looks, not exactly. And what they told another point is this spiral wall, due to the presence of spiral wall in the heart of the frog. Okay, so here the blood is sent to the body parts through these, systemic aorta or aorta. So here, according to classical theory, the spiral wall sends three different types of blood into three different, branches of the each systemic branch. For example, ikkada first one is carotid arch, systemic arch, and the pulmocutaneous arch. So according to groups, the systemic arch supplies fresh blood to the body parts. Okay, and this even carotid, yeah, sir, carotid branch, it supplies blood to the anterior parts, particularly to the brain. So they considered this carotid arch that supplies completely pure blood, and the systemic arch supplies semi or mixed type of blood. Okay, and this pulmocutaneous arch, because it is sending the blood to the lungs and your skin, so that's why this branch is known as pulmocutaneous arch. And according to groups, the pulmocutaneous arch, it supplies completely impure blood. Okay, So that is their theory. It is not, you know, uh, accepted by anybody. Okay. So anyway, it was believed to some days or some years later, it was proved as wrong by, you know, Vanderwall and Faxon and Parker at Haskell. So according to them, హార్ట్‌లోకి వచ్చేదంతా కూడా మిక్స్డ్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ బ్లడ్‌నే. అండ్ ఇది వెంట్రికల్ పంప్ చేసే బ్లడ్ ఎందులోకెళ్తది? యూ నో దిస్ ట్రంకస్ ఆర్టీరియోస్‌లోకెళ్తది. అండ్ దిస్ ఏదైతే స్పైరల్ వాల్వ్ ఉందో, so that just gives support to this, you know, the truncus arteriosus. It will not separately send separate blood to these three, veins. Sorry, artery. Okay. అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇది యూనో ప్యారోటిడ్ కాబట్టి ఫ్రెష్ బ్లడ్, ప్యూర్లీ ఫ్రెష్ బ్లడ్ హెడ్కి వెళ్తుంది, బ్రెయిన్కి వెళ్తుందని. ఓకే. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ ఇది సిస్టమిక్ ఏరియాకి వెళ్ళిపోతుంది కాబట్టి, సో ఇట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో టు సమ్ ఎక్స్టెంట్ హీ ఫెల్ట్ ఇట్ హ్యాస్, మిక్స్డ్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ బ్లడ్. అండ్ దిస్ వన్ ఈస్ completely impure blood. But later, Watson and so Vanderwall and Watson, these are the two scientists. Okay, they disproved the classical theory. So they used an Indian ink to investigate or to study the movement of the blood. They also, Foxon also used a chemical called thorostat or thorium dioxide. Okay, so what and another scientist called Parker, another pair of scientists called Parker and Haswell, they used optical electrical manometer to study the functioning of the, you know, heart. Okay, so they simply, so you know stated that all three arches transport the blood with same pressure. ఒకటి వీళ్ళు హార్ట్. అకార్డింగ్ టు ఫాక్సన్ అండ్ వాండర్వాల్, ఓకే, హార్ట్లోకి వచ్చేది మొత్తం మిక్స్డ్ టైపే, అది పంప్ చేసేది మొత్తం కూడా మిక్స్డ్ టైప్ నెంబర్ వన్. ఓకే. బ్రూక్స్ ఏమన్నారంటే ఈ ఇందులోకి వెళ్ళే ప్రెషర్ కూడా డిఫరెంట్ డిఫరెంట్గా ఉంటుంది. సో హెడ్ దగ్గర కాబట్టి మీడియం ప్రెషర్తో పోతుంది. సో సిస్టమిక్ అయోటా మొత్తం బాడీ మొత్తానికి వెళ్ళాలి కాబట్టి కొంచెం హై స్పీడ్ వెళ్తుంది. అండ్ దిస్ వన్ ఈస్ యూనో పల్మోక్యుటేనియస్ ఆర్చ్. ఓకే. సో దానికి అది అక్కడే ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి కొంచెం ప్రెషర్ అనేది తక్కువగా పంప్ చేస్తుంది హార్ట్ అనేది ఒక, imagination by the groups. But so it was disappeared by, okay, according to groups, three aortic arches లోకి త్రీ డిఫరెంట్ ప్రెషర్స్ తో బ్లడ్ వెళ్తుంది. అండ్ త్రీ డిఫరెంట్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ బ్లడ్ అనేది వెళ్తుంది అనేది క్లాసికల్ థియరీ. బట్ మోడర్న్ థియరీ ఏం చెప్తుందంటే అసలు హార్ట్ లోకి వచ్చేదంతా మిక్స్డే, బయటకు వెళ్ళేదంతా మిక్స్డే. ఎందుకంటే లంగ్స్ ఆర్ నాట్ కంప్లీట్, యూనో రెస్పిరేటరీ ఆర్గన్స్. ఓకే. సో లంగ్స్ నుంచి వచ్చేటువంటి, ఓకే, పల్మోనరీ వెయిన్స్ కంప్లీట్ ప్యూరిఫైడ్ బ్లడ్ తీసుకురావాలి, మిక్స్డ్ బ్లడ్ తీసుకురావాలి. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం స్కిన్ నుంచి వచ్చేటువంటి బ్లడ్ కూడా మిక్స్డ్ టైప్, ఎందుకంటే స్కిన్ కూడా నాట్ ఎఫిషియెంట్ సో రెస్పిరేటరీ ఆర్గన్ వెన్ కంపేర్ విత్ అదర్. సో టోటల్ హార్ట్ వచ్చేది మిక్స్డే అండ్ బయటకు వెళ్ళేది మిక్స్డే. అండ్ అకార్డింగ్ టు పార్కర్ అండ్ హాస్వెల్, సో ఈ యొక్క ఏదైతే ఉందో స్పైరల్ వాల్వ్ అనేది జస్ట్ ఇట్ సపోర్ట్స్ ది ట్రంకస్ ఆర్టరీ. ఇట్ డజంట్ direct the uh, blood flow into three different arches. Okay, so that is about heart. Then I'll explain directly the arterial system. So here, this is the arterial system of, you know, an amphibian or the frog. Here, what is the meaning of arterial system? It is a collection of blood vessels that receive, that are raised in the heart and that supplies the blood to all the body parts. Okay, so here the base for the arterial system is truncus arteriosus. This truncus arteriosus, when it is arising from the right part of the ventricle, so immediately after formation, so it is bifurcated into, you know, two aortic arches. Okay, so two aortic arches గా డివైడ్ అవుతుంది. రెండు సో మహాధమలుగా చీలుతుంది అనమాట. అండ్ ఈచ్ అయోటిక్ ఆర్చ్ ఈస్ డివైడ్ ఇంటూ త్రీ సో మేజర్ ఆర్టరీస్. ఏంటి అవి అంటే, సో ఫస్ట్ వన్ ఈజ్ పై, దిస్ వన్ ఈజ్ యాక్చువల్లీ ద కరోటిడ్ ఆర్చ్. డయాగ్రామ్ లోకి ఇక్కడ ఇచ్చాడు. సో ఇది కరోటిడ్ ఆర్చ్ అండ్ దిస్ ఈజ్ సిస్టమిక్ ఆర్చ్. ఓకే, అండ్ దిస్ వన్ ఇక్కడ చూస్తే మీకు పల్మో క్యూటేనియస్ ఆర్చ్. అంటే ఈచ్ అంటే ట్రంకస్ ఆర్టీరియోస్ అనేది రెండు బ్రాంచెస్ ఇస్తుంది హార్ట్ దాటగానే. సో ఈచ్ బ్రాంచ్ ఈస్ అగైన్ డివైడ్ ఇంటూ త్రీ సబ్ బ్రాంచెస్. వన్ ఈస్ సో దిస్ వన్ ది కరోటిడ్ ఆర్చ్. ఇక్కడ ఇక్కడ కూడా ఇచ్చాడు, ఇక్కడ క్లియర్ ఇచ్చింది కరోటిడ్ ఆర్చ్. అండ్ దిస్ వన్ ఈస్ left systemic arch. This is right systemic arch అనమాట. ఓకే, అండ్ వాట్ ఈస్ దిస్ వన్? పల్మో క్యూటేనియం. ఓకే, సో పల్మో అంటేనేమో లంగ్స్కి, క్యూటేనియం అంటేనేమో స్కిన్కి పోయే రెండు బ్రాంచుల్ని కలిగిన పల్మో క్యూటేనియస్ ఆర్చ్ అనేటువంటివి. సో అయోటిక్, ఈచ్ అయోటిక్ ఆర్చ్ నుంచి దే ఆర్ ప్రొడ్యూస్డ్, దే ఆర్ ఫార్మ్డ్. Okay, so here carotid arch is again divided into lingual, which supplies blood to the tongue area, and here uh, external and internal carotid arch. Okay, so they give the head region, brain, okay, skull region. So to all those, the blood is supplied by this carotid arch. So then ఇది మీరు ఫాలో అవ్వాలి. సెకండ్ది, దిస్ ఈస్ ఏమంటాం, ఇది లెఫ్ట్ సిస్టమిక్ ఆర్చ్ అండ్ ఇదేంటిది రైట్ సిస్టమిక్ ఆర్చ్. సో దే సరౌండ్ ది ఫ్యారింగ్. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఏముంటుందంటే, ఈ ఏరియాలో ఏముంటుందంటే డైజెస్టివ్ సిస్టమ్కి సంబంధించి ఇసఫాగస్ ఉంటుంది. సో బోత్ ది systemic arches, they surround the esophagus, and in the ventral area or the thoracic area, two left and right systemic arches, they are fused. So before fusing or getting joined, so each systemic arch, it produces three arteries. One is esophageal artery, okay, and cutaneous Second one is occipitovertebral artery. Here, occipitovertebral artery. Okay, and this simple one is esophageal artery, and this is not here. And this one is subclavian artery. Esophageal artery to the esophagus. Okay, and then occipito and vertebral artery. So here, occipital artery skull. So posterior part of the skull and vertebral. So backbone. Okay, these two are this common occipitovertebral artery that supplies blood to backside of the skull and to the vertebra or the backbone also that supplies. And last one is subclavian. Okay, and each systemic iota అనేది, so while joining with the same kind of iota, so it produces three blood vessels. Okay, so one is esophageal, okay, occipitovertebral and subclavian. ఒకటోది esophageal, రెండోది occipitovertebral, మూడోది subclavian arteries. Here esophageal to the esophagus, occipito and vertebral to the backbone and the skull posterior region. And the subclavian vein supply blood to the pectoral fins or forelimbs. Okay, they supply the blood. So that is about the three branches of the systemic aorta. And here near the you know uh, abdominal mid part of the abdominal cavity, both right, left and right systemic aorta, they are united. But okay, so this right aorta is continued as celiaco-mesenteric artery. Okay, so this celiaco-mesenteric artery is again divided to you know the anterior celiac artery. Okay, and this is posterior celiac artery that supplies blood to the various posterior mesenteric. This is anterior mesenteric, right? So and this one, yeah, this is celiac mesenteric, and this is that supplies to pancreas and stomach. So that is called as celiac anterior mesenteric artery. Okay, and then this part is considered is anterior mesenteric artery. Diagram క్లియర్ ఇక్కడ ఇచ్చాడు anterior mesenteric అని ఇక్కడ ఇచ్చాడు. ఇది celiac artery actually that supplies blood to stomach and you know uh, the pancreas. Okay, and this part is round of చేసినంత anterior mesenteric. Okay, that supplies to anterior part of the alimentary canal, and this is posterior mesenteric that supplies to the large intestine. ఇదేంటిది? So right systemic aorta. Okay, so that moves to the left side, and whereas left systemic aorta, it is continued as dorsal aorta. Okay, dorsal aorta ga అది కంటిన్యూ అవుతుంది. So the dorsal aorta, while moving downward, it gives five pairs of you know uh, arteries, or five pairs of arteries to the kidneys. Among the five pairs, the first pair of renal arteries are called gonadal artery. ఇది in male they are testicular arteries. In female they are ovarian arteries. Okay, so they give blood to the gonads, either ovaries or to the testis, and the remaining four pairs of arteries are renal artery. So they supply to the kidneys. Okay, and then in the posterior region, each the dorsal aorta is bifurcated to one pair of iliac artery. Each iliac artery is again divided to femoral and sciatic. Okay, the femoral uh, blood vessel, it supplies blood to the you know the limb area, particularly the thigh area, and the sciatic artery, it supplies blood to the remaining part of the leg. Okay, so this is the uh, you know uh, brief explanation of the arterial system. Once again, I am explaining. Listen carefully. Here, the arterial system, it supplies blood to all the body parts. Okay, so the arterial system starts with truncus arteriosus. So truncus arteriosus, when it is crossed the heart, it is bifurcated into two aortic arches. So this each aortic arch is again subdivided into three major arteries. Okay, so first one is this one is actually this one is carotid arch. Okay, and then this one is so systemic arch, and this one is pulmocutaneous arch. Okay, so yeah, this one is carotid systemic pulmocutaneous, carotid systemic pulmocutaneous, carotid systemic pulmocutaneous. So each aortic arch is divided into three. Uh, right. So here this is carotid arch. It is divided into one internal carotid and external carotid are lingual. So this lingual, it supplies to tongue area. Okay, and this is internal carotid, so it supplies blood to the brain. And then the middle one, so this is a right systemic aorta. This is left systemic aorta. Both of them, they surround jointly the ear. ఇక్కడ esophagus ఉంటుంది. So and they meet in the abdominal cavity. Okay, so while they're you know while they joining with each other, so each branch of systemic artery produces three arteries. One is esophageal, చిన్నది లోపల వైపు ఉన్న ఈ చిన్నది esophageal to the esophagus. Okay, and second one is accipito-vertebral to the skull and backbone, and the third one is this one, subclavian, for the four limbs. Okay, so this is accipito-vertebral, ఒకటి accipital ఇంకోటి vertebral. Okay, skull and vertebral column, subclavian to the four limbs. So అది ఈ ఈచ్ సిస్టమిక్ అయోటా అది ఫార్వర్డ్ వెళ్తుంటే త్రీ బ్రాంచెస్ ఇస్తుంది. ఒకటి ఇసెఫాజియల్, అక్సిపిటోవర్టిబ్రల్ అండ్ సబ్క్లావియల్. ఓకే, దెన్ after joining, this left one is continued as dorsal aorta. This right one is continued as C celiaco-mesenteric artery. And here the celiaco-mesenteric artery is divided into two branches. So this one is called celiac artery, and this one is actually the mesenteric artery. Actually, this one is actually mesenteric artery. This mesenteric artery is again divided into so anterior mesenteric, and this one is posterior mesenteric. Anterior mesenteric artery supply blood to all the alimentary canal body canal uh, parts. Okay, and the posterior mesenteric uh, artery supply blood to the the intestine, the large intestine. Okay, so here you can see in the anterior mesenteric there are different kinds of arteries are there, like intestinal artery, duodenal artery. Okay, in the celiac artery, so one hepatic artery and another gastric artery are present. And here intestinal artery, splenic artery. Here splenic artery, splenic artery. ఇవన్నీ కలిస్తే సో దీన్ని anterior mesenteric అని. Okay, and the separated branch ఏంటి ఇది posterior mesenteric artery. So that is about the two branches of the systemic aorta. Here, sorry, the right systemic aorta. This left systemic aorta is continued as dorsal aorta. Okay, so during its journey uh, towards the you know uh, dorsal posterior body parts. Okay, so it produces five pairs of arteries. First pair of arteries are generally there considered as gonadial arteries. ఒకవేళ if it is female, this will be ovarian artery. ఒకవేళ ఇది కనుక testis అయితే that will be testicular artery. Okay, so that is first pair, and remaining four pairs are renal arteries that supply blood to the kidneys. And then the in the posterior region of the trunk, this dorsal aorta is bifurcated into two iliac branches, two iliacs and so each iliac is again divided into two branches. One is femoral branch, another one is sciatic branch. So these both of these iliacs of the you know uh, branches, they give particularly the hind limbs. Okay, the blood is given to hind limbs. And the third aortic arch is uh, this is coronary, carotid, and this one is systemic. And this one is pulmocutaneous arch. Here, ఇక్కడ నుంచే form అవుతుంది. So this pulmocutaneous arch, okay, so that uh, supplies blood to the what we call the lungs and yeah, pulmonary branch of pulmocutaneous artery to the lungs. Okay, and there will be a cutaneous, yeah, ఇక్కడ ఉంది cutaneous అంటే ఇదన్నమాట. So the cutaneous branch of the pulmocutaneous branch, so that supplies blood to the skin. Okay, so in this way, this is the whole uh, arterial system. And here, carotid. So systemic. Okay. So anyway, so here one pair of uh, blood vessels from the carotid arteries, they are known as arteriobulbar arteries from both the sides from the carotid artery. So they supply blood to the heart. So they are known as arteriovulvar arteries or coronary arteries. One pair of coronary arteries supplies the fresh blood or the blood to the the walls of heart. What name and Wilson? Coronary arteries or arteriovulvar arteries that supply blood to the heart walls. Okay, so that is about the you know the arterial system. Then, so this is venous system. I'll just introduce the venous system. So it mainly consists of general. What is venous system? The venous system collects the blood from various parts of the body, and it pours that blood into the the heart. Okay, so here there are three major veins in the venous system of the uh, amphibian. Okay, so first one is one pair of precaval veins, and AV precaval veins and AV. That's one. So this one is left precaval vein. This one is right precaval vein. So these two are combined known as so anterior precaval veins, and this one is post caval vein. These two main veins, okay, they are united. Okay, so and they are opened into the right auricle of the heart. So, and in the same way, from the one pair of lungs, okay, so one pair of pulmonary veins, okay, so they are opened into a common aperture into the left auricle. Okay, so these are known as pulmonary veins that brings the moderately purified blood to the left auricle. From the okay, so in this way, one pair of precaval veins collect blood from the anterior region. Okay, and this one, the postcaval veins that collects blood from the posterior part of the uh, body. So, and in addition to these three, here this area, which includes a hepatic portal vein, so that area is known as hepatic portal system, and this area, which includes the this region. Okay, so this is a renal portal system. అంటే త్రీ క్యావల్ వెయిన్స్ తో పాటు ఒక hepatic portal vein, ఒక renal portal vein is also present in the amphibian circulatory system. Okay, so here the caval veins each is divided into so what we call the innominate, external jugular, and subclavian artery. ఓకే, ప్రతి ఒక్క ప్రీ క్యావల్ వెయిన్ అనేది త్రీ బ్రాంచెస్ గా డివైడ్ అవుతుంది. చూడండి, ఎక్స్టర్నల్ జుగులార్, ఇన్నామినేట్ అండ్ సబ్ క్లావియన్. This one is subclavian. అంటే ఇదన్నమాట. Right? So here external jugular vein is again divided to lingual to the, yeah, from the tongue area. It collects the blood. Mandibular, so lower jaw area. Okay, so these are united to form you know the external jugular vein. And then this one is innominate. So this one. Okay. So here the innominate is again divided into internal jugular and subscapular. Okay. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఇచ్చాడు. Internal, దీన్ని internal jugular అన్నాడు. This is subscapular అని ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది. So both of these, okay, so they give overall to the anterior part of the body, particularly the head region. And then the third one is subclavian artery. So this subclavian arteries always, so they are divided into two branches again. One is brachial to the forelimbs, and so musculocutaneous uh, vein. Okay, so here it supplies blood to the muscles and the subcutaneous layer of the skin. Okay, so in this way, the precaval veins, they contain, they are formed of three major veins. One is external jugular, another one is innominate, another one is subclavian. Subclavian is divided into two parts. One is brachial, which collects blood from the forelimbs, and next one is musculocutaneous uh, artery, so that supplies blood to the uh, muscles and skin. Okay, and innominate. So it is divided into internal jugular to the brain. Okay, and subscapulars to the shoulder, that area, and then this is uh, what we call the external jugular vein is divided into two chambers again. One is mandibular to the jaw area, and another one is uh, lingual vein, so that collects from the heart. So all these collect impure blood by these one pair of three cavern veins into the heart. Okay. So and also one pair of pulmonary veins, they collect impure blood to the heart. Sorry, purified blood to the heart. So that is about the anterior area. And this one is post caval vein. So it gives one pair of hepatic arteries. Sorry, collects blood from a pair of hepatic veins, and also collect blood from gonadal region from one pair of gonadal veins. Okay, so if it is female, it is known as uh, ovarian veins, or if it is male, they are called as mm, testicular veins. And the remaining four pairs of arteries as the veins, they collect blood from the kidneys and pour into this what we call the post caval vein. And then, so here, this one, hepatic portal vein and this anterior abdominal vein. These two constitute the hepatic portal system. Okay, from the all the parts of the what we call the alimentary canal, the blood is collected by hepatic portal vein, and here it is started as a blood capillaries and ends in the, the liver as blood capillaries. And also here from the posterior region to, pelvic veins of both sides, they are united to form anterior abdominal vein. So that collects blood from the posterior parts of the uh, body. Okay, and these two pelvic veins are united to form an anterior abdominal vein, so that brings blood to the uh, you know this liver, in which it ends as a blood capillaries. Okay, it started as blood capillaries here and here. Okay, and both pelvic veins are united, and it gives blood to the, or it carries blood to the liver. From the liver, one pair of hepatic veins, they collect the liver blood to and pour into this post caval vein. So the post caval vein, it pours the blood into sinus venosus. This area is sinus venosus. Sinus venosus pour the impure blood. Okay, so say to the right caval vein. So this one, the hepatic portal vein and anterior abdominal vein, it constitute the hepatic portal system. Okay. In the hepatic portal vein is the giant branch of gastric vein and intestinal vein and splenic vein. ఈ మూడు కలిస్తే, so the hepatic portal vein is formed, and that captures this blood and gives to the one of the lobes of the liver. And this area is the last one, is known as the renal uh, portal system. Okay, so in the posterior area, one sciatic vein and one femoral vein. Okay, so yeah, the femoral vein collects blood from the, the thigh area, and the sciatic vein from the remaining parts of the uh, posterior region of the body. So both of these, they collect impure blood from the posterior part of body. Uh, the femoral vein is bifurcated after some time. Okay, to form a pelvic vein and a uh, you know uh, pelvic vein, and another one is, yeah, renal portal vein. Okay, so this sciatic vein also joins with the renal portal vein. Okay, so both of them, they pour this blood which is received from the posterior part into the this kidneys. So just prior to ending into the kidneys, uh, renal portal vein also receives blood from a pair of both sides, dorsal-lumbar uh, vein. Okay, so that collects blood from the backbone. Okay, so that is given, or that carries the blood to the kidneys. So this system is known as the renal portal system. The portal system means, so at a place the blood vessel is started as a capillary and ends in another place as a capillary other than the heart. So that is portal system. And if it includes the kidneys, that is called renal portal system. If it includes the liver, that is called uh, hepatic portal system. Okay, so this is totally the anatomy of the uh, frog circulation or circulatory system. Okay, And I would like to inform you all. One thing is, so just now the CP gate at a PG entrance test